everybody.
Hello,
Welcome to the Current Art Podcast. I'm Yaching.
I'm Chang'en.
Really nice to have you back. So, in your memory, how does New York smells like?
New York smell. Are you talking about New York smell?
I know it's a mixture. It's very complex.
It is complicated, complex. It's not so perfumey, but
So it's not pleasant.
yeah.
Yeah.
New York subway smell,
Smell like
pee
what?
smell, garbage,
Yeah, that's true.
and like that humid. In the summertime is really bad.
Oh, I never been here like during the peak season. So
Yes.
but I guess it's like a mixture of human, human smell.
It's a mixture of human sweat. That's
Yeah.
really better than subway smell.
Really?
It's better than subway smell. Yes.
Yeah. Subway smell like bathroom.
Bathroom you never cleaned 100 years.
Exactly. Oh my God, it's unbelievable that you have to use that for transit. I mean, I have to use it. So I read about the article called 18 Smells Every New Yorker Will Recognize from Time Out magazine. So first one is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
The signature scent of many New York intersections, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is horse poop.
Horse poop, yes, around the Central Park.
That's true. And the third one is burnt street meat.
Oh, when you pass by the
Halal.
halal food.
Yes. As a person who doesn't eat meat, but I still have that memory of like how does meat smell like. Several blocks away you can already smell the carts.
Right.
And they're everywhere in Midtown.
Yeah. It's just you didn't taste it, right?
Yeah, I don't eat meat. Yes.
Yeah. But it's tasty. Quite tasty.
Oh, you tried it?
Yeah, I loved it.
What kind of thing did you try?
Five Guys halal food. It's chicken over the rice.
Chicken over the rice.
Yeah, I like chicken.
All right. I don't have so much opinion, so we skip.
All
A
right.
stinky subway car. So, wow, this is disgusting. So it could be vomit, like a guy sitting on the one side of the corner, like human smell, and dead animal. Rats. Like there are so many rats in New York.
Do you smell rats?
I don't know. Rats actually doesn't have a significant smell. They're just running around.
Yeah, it's they running around everywhere. Subway, Central Park. I even saw in the wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They live even in the wood. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the Central Park. I mean, it's not forest, but
You're sure it's not squirrel or something?
No, I saw it exactly.
Oh.
He crossed by the bush.
Such a weird imagery. And the fifth one is laundry.
Oh, laundromat. Yeah, I actually like the laundromat smell when I pass.
Yeah, it's like a grandma smell. So it's fresh and clean and flowery, right?
Yes.
And then the damp subway platform. So this is what you're talking about, but they specifically talk about like stagnant water, like in the subway, and then like this water is also in this like huge concrete, like very wet environment, and this kind of watery smell.
Yeah, wet and watery. Yeah, that reminds me when between spring to summer, it's not that humid and disgusting. And it started to blooming. It combines with when rain smell. And then coffee, when you pass by the coffee shop, it's always pleasant to me, actually. It's one of the pleasant smell of New York. Like wet street and coffee from coffee smell from coffee bars.
Yeah.
And a little bit of like humid.
Yeah, after New York took a shower.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. And nuts for nuts carts. So like those carts where they sell the nuts, right? Like
Uh-huh.
peanuts,
Right.
sugar
Sugar.
coated, almonds, cashews, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And the eighth is exhaust. So it's like hot automotive exhaust while the car are backed up at the light or waiting to get into the tunnel.
Okay.
So it's like maybe a smell of gasoline.
Yes, yeah, so exhaust from the car, yes. When we pass by the midterm tunnel or under the bridge, I need to close that when like a vent of the
Oh,
car.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the vent fumes. The ninth is vent fumes. So it's like the ninth is the mysterious hot air blowing from the vents on the side of the building.
Yeah, that's a steam pole, right?
Yeah, that's very typical in New York. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it elsewhere, you know?
I saw it quite often between the 3rd Avenue to 2nd Avenue, like around like a 68th Street, 69th Street. They always have that. Because
Yeah.
I drive now, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like a typical New York thing. I haven't seen it in other city or country I lived in.
Oh, yeah, it is typical New York.
So it's like the steam fog, like extremely huge, especially during the winter. And I'm always worrying about it because it can blur your vision, right? Especially when you're driving.
Sometimes.
But it has a very interesting, like steamy smell to it.
Do you feel it? I actually didn't feel the smell. It's water.
I think if you stand right at that place, you can smell it, but you have to like stand right at the like smoke or right at this hot air.
Next time I had to get out from the car and then smell it.
Great, good job. The 10th is pee.
Dog pee,
Dog
human
pee,
pee.
human pee. Yeah, whatever kind is it. And then it talks about the sun baking that urine stench radiates from the sidewalk. Yeah, that's very common.
It's very common. Ew. Yeah, I know. It's disgusting.
In New York.
Even though it's a luxury, like, you know, the rich people area, the Park Avenue,
Yeah.
you know, the Upper East Side, the dog pees. Because they have dog walkers, you know, let dogs pee on the side street. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells really pee.
Okay, and backyard barbecue. The smell of meat grilling on the sidewalk in Brooklyn or like in Prospect Park, for example.
Okay. Yeah, around the park. New York people doesn't have backyard.
Okay, that's true. The 12th is fish market. So this I don't know, but I heard from people, especially when you walk through Chinatown, like during the summer, that you smell this seafood market or fish market.
Yeah. I wonder because Koreans eat a lot of fish too. And other culture also use of fish. But when I pass by Chinatown, yes, I smell that.
Really?
Why? Yeah.
Like even though when you're in the car?
When I walk.
When you walk
by the... Actually, yeah, maybe they just put the fish garbage into the garbage bag. So
yeah, it can go bad very fast, like half of the day. Okay. 13th, the inside of a taxi.
Inside of taxi.
So the combination of sweat and the driver's lunch and that musty smell that you find in airports.
Yeah.
I guess there's like always a dizziness when I get into a taxi. Like this very recognizable smell that is kind of universal. So I don't know, this is a distinct New York smell. Subway restaurant?
Subway restaurant.
I guess when they talk about Subway restaurant, they're talking about, for example, the restaurant in Grand Central Station. Okay, maybe this one is not a typical one. 15, marijuana.
Yeah, since it's
Legalized.
legalized in New York, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I smell more marijuana in Europe than
Mm.
here in New York. I feel like smoking is not a very big culture in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like not so many people, not everybody
Mm-hmm.
smoking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
16, manhole steam.
Manhole steam. It's the same thing like that steam pole kind of thing.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think I at least for me it's identical.
Mm.
17, pizza.
Pizza. Pizza.
Yeah.
It's pleasant. Yeah.
Do you feel like this 99-cent dollar pizza has a other smell than the regular pizza? Is this 99 cents pizza store has a very different smell?
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you compare with the brick oven pizza and then
Yeah.
just like 99 cents, just a cheese and dough kind of pizza, it's different smell and taste.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has a very distinct
Mm-hmm.
sweet kind of taste.
Yeah, my guess is probably they use like a certain brand sauce, tomato sauce, which is really price low, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Very affordable.
Yeah, affordable. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the 18th, like they call it success, which is a pleasant smell. So perfume.
Perfume. Mm.
Do you smell like perfume often in New York?
I don't know. It's like when I was like 20s, the people loved to wear the perfume, but like in really recent 10 years, people really didn't do much of a perfumey coating their body. So
Yeah.
it's like light scent is now people prefer now, but like back in the day, like Dior or Chanel, kind of like a heavy, strong perfume, is not exist anymore. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel more. I smell peace smell than perfume.
Yeah, it's more like unpleasant smell.
Mm.
And also just the smell of different human being. Like I smell people in New York.
You smell people. Wow.
Yeah.
Sweat.
Yeah, and especially when it's sunny, so it feels like the sweat kind of get grilled under the sun.
Ah, interesting.
And then people have really different smell, and I'm very sensitive with the smell. And there's even a dating platform, like they ask you to send out your underwear, like your bras or your underpants, and then the one that you wore for 3 days or something.
What?
And then to a person, if that person likes it, or if you like each other's underpants, underwear.
You're kidding.
No, I think I've seen a advertisement of that online.
Gosh. Oh. People are weird.
So if you like this person's smell, you probably really like this person too. So, get to know a person from the smell, but not from how they look.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think it's a smell is very important to like somebody,
Yeah, that's true.
Because I realized before I met my husband, I mean, I was dating a little bit, and the person who is really perfect looking or whatever is a kind, but I smell like a sweat and kind of stingy kind of smell, and immediately I lose interest. Immediately I lost.
Do you mean like if this person doesn't wear perfume that
Not
you can smell? Or let me ask, even though this person wearing perfume, you can still smell like this sweaty or the smell of the skin, right?
Yeah, I prefer more than perfume. I prefer more like a soap smell,
Oh,
it's clean, more laundromat.
More laundromat smell.
Yeah.
Okay, now our smell has been categorized by the
Yes.
space,
Yeah.
like laundromat smell. Ah, oh, you know what? I have a very weird, like, kind of, not a habit, but I like to smell the person I like, even though the sweat.
Oh, so your sense tweaked your sense. I mean, like because your emotion, the smells of sense,
You mean?
it changed.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, exactly. So I have to learn this person, that I have to learn their smell. Like everybody, not just in romantic relationship, but like every person that I like,
Mm.
I have to know their smell.
Oh,
And
I better make a good smell every time I meet Yaqing. I have to be very careful.
no, I like different kind of smell.
Okay.
So it's not only the best like soapy smell I also like, for example, sweat. But maybe not the smell of the feet that I'm not sure if I like it, but
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's true. If you like someone, then you will accept, even though people are, sweaty or feet smells bad
yeah.
or armpit smell.
Yeah, I even would smell the armpit to get to know this person.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yep.
Today we are going to introduce you this artwork from Delcy Morelos, a Colombian artist. She was born in 1967, and she has her current show in Dia Chelsea,
Mhm.
and the work called El Abrazo, The Embrace, is a new work she made in 2023. And she is from Tierralta, Colombia, and she currently lives and works in Bogota, the capital of Colombia. So she has 30 years of practice grounded in abstraction. Morelos has worked across painting, sculpture, and installation. So let me describe how does this El Abrazo looks like. So if you ever been to this Dear Chelsea, they have a huge exhibition hall, so the ceiling is extremely tall. This exhibition consists two of her works. So El Abrazo is one of these two. You go inside of the hall, you've seen a huge, like earth chunk, like soil, like lifted above the ground and pointed through the ceiling.
Wow.
And a really huge chunk of the earth, right, appears in front of you, and in a geometric shape. And you saw this in between the soil, there's like this hay coming through the mud. And it has a smell. It has a very strong smell.
Did you go there, actually?
I
In
went
person?
there,
Oh.
and they actually ask you to touch the soil.
Oh,
You
wow.
can actually touch this work. It took them like 6 weeks to put it together. It's very minimalistic, so it's very experience-oriented artwork.
Wow.
Engage with your senses. And I did a little bit research. They said they put cinnamon and clove. So both used for like their natural antifungal properties. And in addition to copaiba, copaiba is a medical tree commonly used in Amazon and other scents. So it's engaging with your smell and touch. I talked with people in Dear Chelsea, and they said they are kind of imitating the smell of after rain.
Oh.
And then this wetness and this very comfortable smell.
Did you like that smell?
I love that smell
Mm.
because it's very humid, as you described before.
Mm-hmm.
You said you like the after rain smell, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel exactly like that in that exhibition hall. I feel like all of my pore on my skin are opening up
Wow.
to receive this smell.
Wow. I have to go there. Experience. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, because it's very simple.
Mm.
It's made just by the earth
Mm-hmm.
and then the hay and then the scent. So, and then the shape, the visual isn't so difficult to perceive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very minimalistic geometric shape.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an architecture stood in the middle of Dear Chelsea's exhibition hall.
Can you go inside? I see some kind of door shape. Can you go inside?
Yeah, they made a tunnel, right? You can go very deep inside of this installation, and then at the end of this tunnel is a shape of like triangle. So it's very pointy.
Mm.
So you can go to the very end and you feel like this soil is squeezing you. You have been sandwiched by the
Oh, wow.
insulation, and then you can touch it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but I went with a friend and she told me she couldn't go inside because it's a little bit claustrophobic.
Mm. It's possible. Mm.
Do you have a smell that is still present in your memory that is very important to you?
Yes. So I can go back to my life-changing moment, 2009. And that time I quit my job and then I decided to travel, and I joined the performing art group that I just explained last week. And it was April, and in Hawaii, a smell of flowers everywhere. It's like you smell of cigarette smoking on the street, just like not by the tree, but in the air. There's a flower smell everywhere. So when I remember about the Hawaii, it was a really, really good time at there. And still I feel like peaceful excitement and joyful feeling is come back when I remember about smell. And I always say to my husband too. So I wanted to go back sometime, some point in time.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting this you remember like Hawaii as a very very flowerish. Is it a very sweet smell?
Sweet and like a flowery smell. They have like a big orange kind of, I don't know exact name of the flower, but it's a big flower. It's like hibiscus. Yes, hibiscus smell. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hibiscus like it's a very rich. It's interesting that it seems like the sense of smell was also kind of connected with like a memory of a color. When you talk about it, it's a very like mature red.
Yes. Red and green, and yeah, immediately I can imagine about the scene,
The
and
visuals, the colors.
Yes,
Yeah.
and emotion, like so joyful. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
interesting. I like a very unisex kind of smell, like oud. I like very woody smell. I remember the first time I arrived in Frankfurt, in Germany, and it was after the rain, in the late August. So the air is very clear. It has a kind of like a cold breeze, and I smelled like the leaves on the ground. It would just rain, so when you step on it, it still have this kind of squishy sound. And I smell like wood. like it smell like trees, the branches, and then it's a very like neutral smell. It doesn't have a very like distinct, attractiveness inside of that smell. It has a very mild, like the smell of something is growing, something is happening.
Wow.
Hard to describe. But then at that moment, I remember that smell, even though after 6 years. And it made me want to live there. It made me want to settle down there. It's a smell of settle down in place.
Yeah,
For me, it's very personal.
I can feel that your emotion because I wanted to stay in Hawaii forever, but I had to move. There's no job.
That's not possible.
Right.
Like what we'll do in Hawaii, like selling ice cream.
So, or the sushi.
Or become a performance artist. You can dance on the beach.
Well, I can. I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to.
It's hard to survive there. So yeah, it was. But I definitely want to go back at some point in time.
Actually, most of my memories of smell come from cities.
Cities, yes.
It's weird because city smell is very complex. So, it's very interesting. I remember the smell of Mumbai. Bombay.
How is it? I don't have experience.
It's a smell of burnt stuffs.
Okay.
So while I was entering like Bombay, like by bus, I remember the smell of something is burning, of like a very smoky smell. It's very complex. And also with the landscape, you saw like very chaotic, very chaotic, very wild architecture. So how they built the city wasn't very rational, wasn't planned, wasn't urban planning, was like this house goes there and that house goes there. So there's a lot of like layers of architectures, and with that very burnt, strong smell, smoke, smoky smell.
Smoky. I think we can connect with the smell of New York and then arts. How, we mostly in the beginning said about the smell of New York is kind of disgusting and not pleasant, but how it's transformed to artwork. I mean, it's different type of smell, but still you will remember the space, the location with that. So it's also she used soil. That was an incredible idea, I think. Because I think it's a little bit of conceptual, but I believe like every single molecules have the information. Every single the soil, our cells, our whatever, our hair, every single things information include the smell.
Yeah, and that's the things that we easily forget about. That's the things that is so easily to ignore, like the smell, the sense
everywhere.
of the smell.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
If we think about like every object, every living being as a memory card, and smell is a very important component of our memories.
Right. So basically, human is the bio memory chip.
Yeah, bio memory chip. And somehow that those bio memory chips can communicate with each other with the smell.
Isn't it incredible?
Yeah, it's not only through touch or through verbal languages. Actually, we influence each other. I wonder if the plants can also smell human being, and how do a plant smell actually?
Oh wow, that's interesting thought. Wow.
Yeah, it's like we, as living beings, not only feeling others,
Mm-hmm.
but
Right.
others also feels us.
Yeah, the
Like,
plant actually they communicate each other by their smell. Yeah.
yeah,
So I think they can sense. We don't know. We never know. The animal can sense the human body smell or whatever to understand us.
that's true. And I think that's the most intriguing part of doing art, because I think everything that is unknown,
Mm.
unknown by science or unknown by our human knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
are worth to discover.
Mm-hmm.
And including that little moments that we walk on the street, that we discover a smell that we have never perceived before, and that could be a very inspirational point
It
of our
is.
creation.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to create a huge story, but we have to perceive those very little things in our daily life, like when you are walking, when you are going to a supermarket or anywhere else, that little information
Mm-hmm.
is important.
Yeah, and it contains with you.
And it contains with you, and then
Yes.
it became part of your unconsciousness. And you don't know, you don't remember it anymore, but it will stay in your bio memory chip.
Exactly. Wow, that is
Okay.
good observed.
Thanks. Thank you for helping. And then now we can officially close it.
Yes.
So I know you don't want us to say goodbye, but we still have to go.
Don't
know.
go.
Don't go. Okay. Like, so we will see you every Sunday at
10 a.m.
and we are available on YouTube Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, Pocket Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So our Instagram is.
Current.art podcast.
Thank you so much for listening
Thank
and
you.
watching, and see you next week.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Okay, I need to have a chocolate.